right, so thank you to John and my colleague Dave. Dave is our assistant editor for Brewbound. My name is Chris Fenari. I'm the editor of Brewbound, and as Dave mentioned, day to day we're pretty much writing about the business of beer. Back in Boston is where we're based, but we cover the entire national landscape, and then once a month we're actually taking the Brew Talks tour on the road. So we'll be in a bunch of other cities later this year. I think we're going to Michigan this summer. We're going out west to Portland and LA. So we'll be kind of all over the country, and we're pretty excited to be here in Kansas City. We've been here for a few days now, so it's been great getting to know everyone. And speaking of getting to know Kansas City a little bit, one of the things I wanted to do today is just introduce a couple new brands to the market that are, I guess, yet to launch, but soon to launch. And first up, I wanted to invite a couple of the guys up here from Crane Brewing, who John just mentioned. So I believe Chris is coming up. I don't know who else is coming up, but we got two mics here for you. Talk a little bit about what Crane's all about. All right, Stephen, round of applause. Michael.
Hi, my name's Michael Crane, and we're starting Crane Brewery. I think what sets us apart, to me, it's although the brewery has my name, what's really special is having the team that we've put together. There's 6 of us, and each one of us brings a lot of experience in different areas, and and to my left is Steve Hood. He's our brewer, head brewer. And there's also at the table Aaron Bryant, Chris Myers, and Jason Lauk. And Randy Strange is another brewer who's not here today. But anyway, our focus is going to be saisons and other farmhouse ales and sours. And my passion for the past, about 5 years has been harvesting wild yeast from a variety of sources and building them up and brewing beers with these, and barrel aging funky sour beers with this yeast and with other strains of yeast, and building up lactobacillus and Brettanomyces from various sources. And that's really the focus of what we're doing. And in order to take that from a homebrew scale, over the past year we've been doing 1-barrel batches, and then soon we'll start 15-barrel batches. Our capacity will be 120 barrels in a fermenter space to start with. But anyway, if Steve has a few words.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you guys. I mean, it sounds like obviously taking a little bit different approach, going for some of the wild ales with some of those different yeast strains and farmhouse and saison. How important is it for you guys to sort of differentiate yourselves, by having a focus like that? I mean, was that a big driver and when you guys were sort of developing the concept and the brand to be different?
Yeah, I would say a part of it is just that Michael sort of made his name with that. So he's got this following among the homebrew community, and over the past year we've been at beer festivals, and he's developed even more of a following and gotten his name out there. And for us to start making pale ales and stouts wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense, because that's what he's known for.
Well, really, we're making the beers we're passionate about and hope everybody likes them, because we really aren't passionate about making wheat beers. The best wheat beer on the planet is made here, I think, at Boulevard, as well as IPAs. Other breweries, Cinderblock makes some amazing IPAs and some other beers. But the beers that we're passionate about are the saisons and the wild funky stuff, and that's our passion, and that's what we're planning to brew. It's more so than a marketing idea.
Right. So what's the goal for Crane? We talk to a lot of different breweries, and some want to be super regionals and be the next Boulevard in their area. Some want to just stay really, really small and serve a local market. Where do you guys envision Crane going in the future? What's the goal?
I think that in terms of, I guess, inspiration as far as our business plan goes, it's come from breweries like Perennial and Prairie and Jester King. We've talked to those guys and we've asked them how they did it, how they only sold mostly large format bottles, how they did so many wild beers, funky beers. And so, yeah, I think we're sort of taking a page from their book. And I think the only reason we can do that, the only reason that's even an option, is because of breweries like Boulevard or Sierra Nevada, who open people's palates up to new beers. Right. Because if we had tried to start a brewery like this in 1989, we would have crashed and burned. Like, there's just no question people wouldn't have been ready for that, and they wouldn't have been prepared for the price point and things like that we've just sort of slowly gotten used to.
So you guys are going to take a higher end approach, more going for sort of a luxury feel, or I mean, it sounds like large format bottles. Are you going to stay local? I know Prairie, sort of sends their stuff, quite a distance away from their brewery.
We'll certainly have to establish ourselves here, and we know that, and we have to make sure we can supply this market. But I think that we definitely have an eye towards larger cities, at least the ones close by, Chicago and Denver and St. Louis. We have to think about those because as big a beer city as Kansas City is, there are bigger ones, and so we know there's a market already there for those. And so we're definitely thinking about those cities, and we'll see. I guess we'll just have to see where we want to go once we get started.
John Petit did say he could sell every drop we brewed, so it's on him.
We're holding him to that.
Yes.
John, that's on you, man. Well, so one of the interesting things about Crane is you guys are doing a crowdfunding campaign, I believe on Crowd Brewed, right?
Correct.
And so talk to me about that process a little bit. I know we've seen, some breweries do it with varying degrees of success. Some have been, quite successful at the crowdfunding model. What's that process been like?
Steve wrote the stuff.
I would say that I posted it with a great amount of anxiety, and I was met with some angry responses, and I should have expected them. I guess I did, but we've also had a lot of really positive responses, and I'm really appreciative for that, because it's difficult to ask for money, even if we're not asking it entirely for nothing. We're trying to quickly raise funds for some things that we think are really going to be really important to make sure that we can deliver the quality that I think people are expecting.
Some people, I think, misunderstood. The money's in the bank to do the brewery, build everything, buy everything that we need. But what we're going to need to do, we have room, we have temperature-controlled storage for over 400 wine and spirit barrels for aging sour beers. And that'll tie up a lot of revenue for a long time, because some of those beers will take months, some of them years. And we also, in order to keep the clean beers clean, there's also some other scientific instruments that we plan to purchase. So the money is to cover some of the costs to build up the inventory in the barrels, as well as some scientific instruments for the yeast lab, so we can make sure that when we clean everything, that there's no bacterial contamination, because we've got about 4,000 square feet that will be filled with Brettanomyces, and we'd just assume keep that out of the clean beers. So that's primarily what the funding's for. And
a piece of it is, I'm sure, marketing, getting the name out there a little bit, and getting some exposure.
Well, another thing, we've the past year served beer at about a dozen different beer festivals, and hundreds of people have come up to us and wanted to be involved. But in the process of raising money, the amount of money that would make sense for them to invest would be far too little to have an equity percentage. So this is just a way that other people that have expressed an interest to be involved in the brewery in some way, this way they can have a little bit of a hand in it.
So where are you guys at today? I know there's, 15, 20 days left, something like that?
$1 million. No, just kidding.
Whereabouts are you in terms of dollars raised to date?
I believe we're at about, okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
And you're shooting for 40 grand?
Right.
So how are you going to get there?
The way this system works, that we're using Crowd Brewed, everything that people have purchased on the site, they will get, and all the money that has been spent, we will receive. It's just a tiny bit different in percentage. With Kickstarter, if the entire amount isn't raised, everything goes away. Right. So this, people who have purchased barrel staves with their names on it, people have purchased the ability to get the first 3 bottles of the first 4 batches of barrel-aged beers, they'll be done. So everything will be done. If we don't raise all the money, we'll probably won't have 400 barrels filled with sour beer as soon as we would have otherwise.
Well, very exciting that you guys are going through that process. Good luck to you guys
Thank
raising
you.
the rest of the funds, and thanks for sharing your story today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Crane Brewing, everyone.